off. There we go. All right, I'd like to welcome everyone here today to the Alberta Clyde Regional District's public hearing for RD 19010 and P1405 and P1406. Before we start, though, I'd like to recognize that we're conducting our business today primarily on the territories of the Hoop-Etchesit and the Tashot First Nations, as well as all over New Toronto territory, depending on where you're coming in from. And my name is John Jack. I'm the chairperson of the Alberta Clyde Regional District, and I'm the director for Hooyet. I'd like to introduce you to our ACRD planning staff. We have Mike Erg, who's the general manager of development services. We have Charity Hallberg Dodds, the planning technician, and Kathy MacArthur, who's a planning assistant. So this hearing is held electronically using Zoom. It's being recorded and is being live streamed to our website and YouTube. And I think at this point, I'd like to ask staff to provide direction and instruction on how to participate in the hearing. No, I could do it. That's what it says on the agenda. Please go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'll go ahead and read through. So first of all, I'd like to thank you all for participating in this electronic public hearing. If you are watching the live stream on the website and wish to join the meeting, the details on how to connect can be found in the Zoom meeting invite document linked to the public hearing page. We want to start off by highlighting some of the tools in Zoom that will help you participate and talk about our process, which will keep the hearing running smoothly. If participating online, you have the option to turn on or off your video and mute or unmute your audio so other meeting participants can see you and hear you. These controls are in the bottom left of your screen on a computer or top right on a tablet or smartphone. Please keep your audio muted at all times unless you're going to speak. This will reduce the background noise, which can make it hard for everyone to hear the presentation. There will be an opportunity to speak after staff introduce the application and the applicants provide comment on the proposal. When the Chair calls upon any members of the public to comment on the bylaw, we ask that you either put up your hand or call out that you would like to speak. Once you have been recognized by the chair or by staff, we ask that you state your name and address and followed by your questions or comments. There is a chat feature accessed from the controls at the bottom of your screen if you would like to ask any questions at any time. All questions that will be addressed by staff during the public hearing, all questions that will be addressed by staff during the public hearing, so feel free to ask any questions you would like addressed as we move along. These questions will be brought forward when the chair asks for public comments. There will also be a final opportunity prior to the end of the public hearing to ask any questions or make any comments on the rezoning bylaw. Finally, I want to note again that this public hearing is being live streamed on the ACRD website and a recording of the meeting will be publicly available. Thank you.
Okay. So the subject of this hearing is our bylaws P1405 and P1406. These bylaws are applicable to lot 771 Beauty Island at Great Central Lake, and they are necessary to facilitate a subdivision proposal. If you have questions or comments about any other unrelated topic, I would ask that you contact Regional District staff after this hearing has been terminated. And now I'd like to ask staff to read the notice of the hearing.
Okay, so this is a public hearing for bylaws P1405 and P1406. Lot 771 Great Central Lake, Beauty Island. Owners Terry Fleming, Kristen Fleming, Amber Day, Leanne Frechette, Tina Marie DeRocco, Lori Day, Deborah Coates, and Rick Sherwood are all property owners. The public hearing is being held November 15th, 2021 at 7 p.m. The meeting is held electronically and call-in public attendance only. Please see information from below. What it's about, a public hearing for residents and property owners within electoral area D, Sproat Lake, will be held to consider bylaws P1405 and P1406. Bylaw P1405 is a Sproat Lake Official Community Plan Amendment, and bylaw P1406 is a zoning text and atlas amendment to rezone lot 771 Clayoquot District from Forest Reserve A4 District to provide the proposed site-specific zone Beauty Island BIRVH District in order to facilitate a 3-lot subdivision. How can people learn more? The public hearing will be held by the director for electoral area D, the alternate director, or the chairperson of the regional district. The board resolution making this delegation, along with bylaws P1405 and P1406 and relevant background documents, is available for review online at www.acrd.bc.ca/events/15-11-2021 Planning staff are available to answer questions in person, through email, or by phone during normal office hours, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., Monday through Friday, from November 1st, 2021 to November 15th, 2021, excluding weekends and statutory holidays. Can I provide input? During the COVID-19 pandemic, providing an opportunity for public input and safeguarding public health are top priorities for the ACRD. Consider written submissions as an effective means to provide your input. Anyone who feels their interest in property will be affected by the proposed bylaws will be afforded a reasonable opportunity to be heard. Options include participating in the public hearing by electronic means using Zoom video conferencing or teleconferencing, and/or submitting correspondence to the ACRD. If you wish to participate in the public hearing electronically or by phone, full instructions to do so are available on our website at www.acrd.bc.ca/events/15-11-2021/ or can be provided contacting planning staff by email at planning@acrd.bc.ca or by phone at 250-720-2700. The public hearing will be recorded and live streamed on our website. Written correspondence can be submitted to the ACRD by one of the following methods: hard copy delivered to the ACRD in person in the drop slot, or by mail to the planning department at the address below. Emails sent to planning@acrd.bc.ca before 4 p.m. November 15th, 2021. Email correspondence will only be considered received if receipt confirmation is provided by ACRD staff. Fax can be sent to 250-723-1327 before 4 p.m. November 15th, 2021. Fax correspondence will only be considered received if receipt confirmation is provided by ACRD staff. All correspondence must be received by the ACRD no earlier than 8 a.m. on November 1st, 2021, and no later than 4 p.m. on November 15th, 2021. Correspondence submitted and or received outside of these parameters will not be included in the public hearing. Who do I contact if I have questions? Planning Department, Regional District of Alberni-Clyquot, 3008 Fifth Avenue, Port Alberni, BC, B9Y2E3. Telephone is 250-720-2700, and fax 250-723-1327. Email planning@acrd.bc.ca, and the date of the notice is November 1st, 2021. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you very much for that. So I think I'd like to reiterate that the purpose of today's meeting today's public hearing is to receive input, written and verbal, from any person who believes that their interest in the property may be affected by the bylaws or is affected. The Regional District Board will receive the full minutes of this hearing before voting on the bylaws. Staff is taking minutes that summarize the issues raised. So when you do speak, please speak clearly and to ensure accuracy, and ensure that you identify yourself before you speak. Okay, I think right here, I think it's time to introduce the proposal, and I think staff are responsible for that. So I'd like to ask, I think, Mike, to take that on.
Yes, that would be
please
yeah.
Go ahead.
So I just want to introduce the application before we turn it over to the applicant's agent. So this application concerns an OCP amendment, zoning text amendment, and zoning bylaw map or zoning map amendment to rezone the property from Forest Reserve A4 district to a site-specific zone Beauty Island BVI RVH district in order to facilitate a 3-lot subdivision. I would note that the zone, the way it's drafted, would allow a maximum of 4 lots and sets out minimum sizes. So I think the owner and applicant intention right now is to subdivide to 3, but it's important, and I want it to be part of the public hearing minutes, that the maximum allowed under the zone is actually 4. There were some conditions of adoption for the bylaws, being support from CSHOT First Nation and Betcheseth First Nation, which we have referrals in there with that confirmation. Confirmation of suitable parking facilities at the east end of Great Central Lake, and I think we may need to have that prior to adoption, and then all the docks complying with provincial standards. The uninhabited cabin being demolished or brought into compliance with BC Building Code. I think I've spoken to the applicant, and the owners intend to provide a notarized letter undertaking to have this work done. To have the work done, and which could occur after the rezoning is approved. There were 6 referral agency comments received, and they will be attached to the public hearing minutes as Appendix A. The referral comments were from the Ministry of Transportation, Betches, the First Nation, CSHOP First Nation, School District 70, Vancouver Island Health, and the ACRD Building Department. And I would note that there was no objections, or the referral agencies all noted no objections or interests unaffected. Copies of the referral agents are available for review on the website. And I would also note that no letters of public correspondence were received prior to the public hearing. And just to summarize, this is an island located in Great Central Lake. It is accessed obviously by water, and the current zoning A4 allows for 1 home but permanent residence. So this zone would allow for the four lots, but as a seasonal or vacation residence type home, which has been the use on this property since it was currently developed. And I think that's it for now, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you very much. At this point, now that we've introduced the proposal and the referral agency comments, I would like to ask if the applicants would like to add anything.
I would like to do a short presentation, please.
That would be great. If you could introduce yourself and state your address as well, just for the record. But thank you, and please go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Helen Sims from Prism Land Surveying. Address is 223 Fern Road West in Qualicum Beach. We are the agents for the application. This is a very brief overview. The purpose of this application is to give individual ownership to the owners of Beauty Island according to the share percent on title. There are 8 owners. To determine the size, we surveyed the island, and because the water level is much higher than when the original district lot was created in 1908, there will be a very large return to crown around the perimeter of the island. The remaining area is 5.4 hectares or 13.3 acres. And we've shown 3 lots that represent the share interest. The share structure is 50%, 25%, and 25%, and the proposed plan represents the same in area. There are 8 owners, as I said, and after subdivision, the ownership will be the same as the share percent. Proposed lot 1 is 50% and approximately 2.7 hectares. Proposed lot 2 is 25% and is approximately 1.35 hectares. And proposed lot 3 is 25% and is approximately 1.35 hectares. Before submitting this application to ACRD, we had a registered on-site wastewater practitioner investigate the soils to make sure that there are appropriate soils for septic disposal. He concluded that the soils meet the current island health standards and the existing systems do not show any sign of a health hazard. As Mr. Erg has said, the rezoning application has been referred to the Ministry of Transportation and 2 First Nations, and none have objected to the application. The zone will allow for residential, seasonal residential use of 1 cabin per lot with a maximum size of 150 square meters or approximately 1,600 square feet per cabin, and 1 accessory building with a maximum size of 40 square meters or approximately 430 square feet. And if anyone has any questions, I welcome any questions. And thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Now we can turn to hearing from members of the public. So if there are any of the members of the public who would like to speak, there's a way to do it. So you can turn your video on and raise your hand, or you can use the reaction buttons down below to raise your hand electronically. When you do speak, though, if you can, I would very much like you to turn your video on and make sure you speak clearly. When you do speak, before you state your comments, you need to state your name and your address before beginning, and we will hear from everyone wishing to speak for the first time before we allow second comments. I'm not certain that that's necessarily going to be a problem here, but at some public hearings, order of speaking is very important. So I'd like to call to hear for any public comments.
So I did notice in the chat that Deb, Grant, Terry, Doug, etc. We're having problems with audio. But so if they have any questions from that group, you could put something in the chat. Not sure if there is.
Yeah, I was helping them with hopefully their connections through the chat as well. So we'll see if there's anything. So no questions from Deb. So I'm assuming, Deb, that you're connected on your phone for the sound, and then you're watching or something like that on the larger group of people. Is that correct? I'm making you type. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. So it seems as though there's no comments from Deb or the group of individuals who are the owners. Are there any other folks here who have comments? I'm only asking because Kiara Frechette is here, as well as whomever owns owner's iPad. Okay. I'll ask just one more time, and then we'll move into maybe the end here. Okay. So I just like to read out that we must advise everyone in attendance and anyone who may be watching online that members of the board cannot receive new information relating to these bylaws between the end of this hearing and the making of the decision on the bylaws, which is the next board meeting on November 24th. If any board member does so, this hearing would be invalidated and would have to be repeated. So the idea here is that we open a window for public comment and receive them within that amount of time. That once that window is closed, the board members will make a decision and not receive any new information. And that really means any new commentary or opinions from folks who feel they may be affected. So with that in mind, does anyone have any final comments? Okay. Seeing no response, I'll call for the first time for any further representations on the bylaws. There being 3 times, and then we'll terminate the meeting. Okay, I'm not seeing anything. Seeing no comments, I will now call for a second time for any further representations regarding the bylaws. Going once, going twice. Okay, and seeing no more comments, I will call for a third time for any further representations on the bylaws. I just noticed that Charity has a dog in the background. Very good dog. Okay, and lastly, hearing no comments for the third time, I will declare that at 7:19 and 30-something seconds that this meeting is now terminated.